If anyone just missed that, I'm going to do it again. Happy Friday. Welcome to #AskRobCo. Hope you're well. Hope you all had a good week. Hope you all enjoyed last week's show, which was great. I mean, we had Katie, who was brilliant and provided great value. We had Iram, who was great, from Westminster University, and we had Chris, a recruiter, and we just had a really good show. Great questions, great feedback, great engagement. I think the advice that we received from the recruiter was excellent advice, and I really hope it helped a lot of you. Today we're being joined by two of the MJ Group grads. Got Harrison and Charlie.
Hello, everyone.
We've seen a few before. So I hope you all had a good week. As I said, last week's show was brilliant, 1 hour special. Just to promote, next week we're going to run another 1 hour special. And next week's special is, we've got some question of the week winners. So some of the key people who have asked the best questions over the previous weeks. I think they are Diva, Jess, and Emily. They're going to be coming on. They're going to be sharing their thoughts about the webinar, the show, what's going on in their lives. They're going to give us an intro about what they're doing, both work, uni, life, dreams, ambitions, etc., etc. So really looking forward to that. That's going to be next Friday at 1 o'clock. It's going to be a special show with special guests. For those of you who've just joined, the format of this is the following. On the right-hand side, you have the questions box. You fill in the questions. We will give you the answers. And that's how the platform works. So it's all about you. So I need you to start writing now in the box and start sending the questions through. So for example, I can write to you guys on my chat. I can say, hey, happy Friday, send some great questions. Last week we had a prize, question of the week. Entire audience, hey, happy Friday, send some great questions. Last week we had question of the week, and the prize last week was mentoring session with me, one-on-one, breakfast, lunch, coffee, however the winner prefers. That went down really well. So we're going to run the same competition again this week. Question of the week, whoever sends the best question, we will do a mock-up of the question on LinkedIn. So you'll get the audio and a bit of visual that will go up. And at the same time, we'll reach out to you, or you reach out to the team, and you'll get a free one-on-one mentor, breakfast, coffee, whatever you want with me. So that's really cool. A bit of background for the new people of joining. Maybe I'm just going to go through some names. A few new people. Got Nanak, Natalia. I've got Hend, who's welcome back. Asked some good questions last time. Not sure if we got through them. David, Dean, Adam, welcome. Jordan, welcome back. Jess, welcome back. Parish, welcome back. Sheila, new person, thanks for joining. Hope you enjoy. A few other familiar faces, thank you for joining. Diva, welcome back, thanks for joining. Hopefully you'll give some good input as always. A few other names there. So thank you all for joining. A bit of history about me. I'm in my 27th year in the industry, in property and real estate. That's 16, 18 hours a day, 6 days a week, 100,000 hours. I'm an absolute expert and specialist in my area. The reason for this platform is because I want to give back to the community, to students, to graduates, to postgraduates, to young surveyors, to young professionals, to young entrepreneurs, anyone with a goal, a vision, a dream, a wish to do something special in your lives and your careers. I want to use this as your platform to ask me any question you want so I can help you advance and develop in your career. That's what makes me happy. That's my joy. So please take advantage of this as you've been doing every week, and please ask questions and hopefully give some good feedback. Anyone who was on last week's show, please write in some feedback. Got loads of emails. Some of the questions still haven't been answered. So if we didn't get them answered last week, please do get them over. We're going to bring back Chris and maybe Katie further down the line, because I think they were so good for the HR questions, the recruitment, the CVs, the interview techniques. All of that went down so well. I think that we're going to bring them back in future editions. So let's start with one or two of the questions. Let's go straight to Charlie. What you got for us?
Hi guys, so this isn't actually a direct question, but Dean missed last week's session due to work commitments, which is perfectly fine, and he was just wondering how he can rewatch his session, and I thought I'd just let you explain that, Rob, to anyone that does miss any sessions. It's really easy to rewatch and get any clips.
Yeah, that's a really good point. We need to start promoting that more. Maybe something we'll share the script, the link further down the line. All of you, I'm sure, are on YouTube. Every single episode is on YouTube. What we'll do is we'll give you the link, or we'll share the link in via email or on a later edition. But hashtag AskRobCo, all on YouTube, every single edition. They're worth listening to because they're always relevant, irrespective of whether we're in lockdown, not in lockdown, semi-lockdown, coming out of lockdown. The advice and the questions remain, and there's so much learning and good support and help there. It's really, really worth listening. What did you two think of last week's special?
Yeah, I thought it was a great insight that we got from all of the panel. It was nice to hear what the recruitment side of people like to see in people. Don't know what Charlie has to say.
I think all these weeks that we've been doing have been going really well. I think what keeps me happy is the people that keep coming back and asking questions. I mean, there's one person that stands out, Emily. She's always here, always asking questions. So that makes it worthwhile for us guys, and it makes it entertaining for us. And just moving on from that, we got another good question coming in actually from Paresh, and it says, is it appropriate for a mature graduate to apply for apprenticeship programs? Just before Rob answers, I know that there's been a new government incentive introduced for companies to be more proactive with apprenticeships. I'm not sure with the exact details. I have a friend in recruitment that mentioned that, and I'll let Rob explain further.
Yeah, I mean, Paresh, without doubt, age isn't an issue. Mature students, professionals, the industry is fully inclusive and fully open. And I don't think you should ever look at age being an issue. And being a mature apprentice just means that maybe you don't know the specialism around the industry, but you've got life experience as a mature student or graduate, so you've got other values to add. I don't think you're ever young enough, and I don't think you're ever old enough. I think that's really one of the main things to get out of the question, Paresh, is that if the younger ones in the audience think, I don't have enough experience, I'm too young, I don't know what I'm doing, it's not for me, you're all wrong. If you think you have a lot of experience and you're too old and you're not right, that's also not correct. At the end of the day, you've got the skill set and the ability and the quality, or you're motivated and you're hungry and you want to learn and you like what you're doing and you like the opportunity, then it's right for you. But don't anyone think that you're too young or you're too old for an opportunity. There is just no such thing. Most businesses and industries in 2020 are fully inclusive for every type of human being that there is out there, and age is never an issue, and especially for the younger ones, you definitely shouldn't be concerned about that. Question from Dean, let's have a look. My girlfriend is an apprenticeship assessor and she has apprentices in their 60s. Exactly, thanks for that, Dean, appreciate that. So Parish, really no issue here. If you don't have experience in a job or a career or a path, it's okay. Like, everyone starts without experience. Like, who has experience when they take on their first job if they've never worked before? No one. But you maybe have life skills and you're very good at communicating, you're very good with people, or you're very good with problems, or you're very good with managing situations, or you were great at home helping your mum or your dad or your brother or your sister, or helping with the baby. You know, life is about experience and experience situations. You maybe not have specialist experience in a certain career path or a job, but life within general brings you so much value and experience. So I wouldn't be worried about that. What else we got? Harrison.
Yeah, so we got a question in from Jess saying, hi Rob, my university is offering 2 options for final year. We can either do traditional dissertation or analysis of a workplace with smaller research project. As an employer, which one would stand out more than the other, or should we do what should suit our skill set best?
That's a brilliant question for all of you listening. I think to have the opportunity to stand out and do something different, it is definitely very special. And to me, if I heard that when I was interviewing someone, they said, like, you know, I could have done a traditional dissertation on a scheme or a project or something that interests me, but actually the fact that I'm in a work placement or doing a research project, and I want to share with you my investigations and my results and my interest in that area, I would be fascinated by that, and I think it will show a lot about you and what you represent. I think the second part of your question is really important, because however great it sounds to show what you did on a work placement within a smaller research project, if you don't have the skills to communicate how special that project was and what your learning was and why you loved it and how it's going to help you in your career or life, if you can't relate that experience, then it's better to go down a traditional route if you feel that's a better way for you to communicate and express what your thoughts are and your ideas are. So I definitely feel you asked the right questions there, Jess, and only you really know which one of the two will show you off in your best form. And also, when you get asked the questions in the interview, how are you going to respond in the best way? I did this dissertation because I love strawberries and fruit picking. And because I love strawberries and fruit picking so much, I decided to do my dissertation on that subject. And then you can really express how clearly you've grown up the whole of your life fruit picking and strawberry picking with your family, and it's such a great subject, and there's a huge demand for it now because of X, Y, and Z and import, export. Or you did this special research project with surveys and investigations, and you found out all these results. It all depends on how you're going to be able to present your work, and also how you're going to answer the questions to the best of your ability when you're in a one-on-one or when you're in an interview scenario and situation. What have we got next, Charlie?
I think it's following on from Jess's situation. I think it's superb your uni is actually giving you the ability to choose. And the one good thing about being able to do analysis of your work placement is that'll be really specific to you, and that'll make you stand out in interviews, because everyone will go, say Rob had interviews, everyone will go there for their dissertations, and you can go there and you'll stand out with your specific analysis of your work placement. But as Rob said, it's up to you and what suits your skill set. But yeah, great options to have. But yeah, following on from that, another question from Emily. Welcome back. In an interview for a graduate job, what do you look out for from students?
So, as many of you know, I do about 100 interviews a year. I'm an absolute serial interviewer. And why am I? I mean, it's good for you to understand the audience. Why am I a serial interviewer? Because I love seeing talent. I love especially young talent that's hungry and motivated and wants to succeed in life and their career and their journey. Like, that gives me so much good energy that I want to help and assist, or possibly give those people an opportunity and a platform for them to achieve all of their wishes and dreams. And I love sitting in front of that. I love hearing the excitement and the energy of some who wants to move on in their career, if they're a mature professional or if they're a young professional, if they're hungry and they want to do something special in their lives. I love seeing that. So, Emily, to start with, you've just got to be authentic. You've got to be yourself, and you've got to demonstrate an energy and a positivity and a hunger and a motivation to succeed in whatever you want to do in life, whatever you're interviewing for. And if you can't demonstrate that, or the job that you're interviewing doesn't really excite you that much, then you're going to have to rethink about how you're going to present yourself, because not every job is the dream scenario. So maybe you're not always as hungry and motivated. At the same time, you do want a job and you do want an opportunity, you know, and I'm really excited to be given the opportunity to show what I'm made of, how hungry I am, because I've worked so hard at Exeter University and I do so much outside of the university with community work, with sport work, with projects. You've got to share your life, your dreams, everything about you, what you represent, your values. And going on to that, to jump straight into the middle of Emily's question, handout vibe of the week is on the right hand side. If you look at handouts, it says 5 out of 5. All the previous ones you can read. This week's vibe of the week is vibe number 7. And I think, you know, for me, this is one of my vibes. Is I was raised to have a moral and ethical approach to life with good values, honesty, and integrity. And an MJ Group has been built with that foundation. And Emily, if you sat in front of me and you said to me that my parents or my mum or my dad or my gran brought me up with these core values, whatever your values are, Emily, which I don't know them yet. Next week, we're going to find out, hopefully, on the show. And you share your values, and that will mean so much to the person sitting in front of you, because suddenly they really understand what you represent and who you are. And when they're good values, then they're going to go a long way. And if the person sitting in front of you resonates with your values, Emily, then you're in a great place, because suddenly you've got a connection, and that's very powerful. So there's just so much that you can do in an interview. But ultimately, it's be yourself, be authentic, be true, and don't be scared to be that person that you are. Don't try and be what you think or what the perception is that you should be in an interview, to try and tick these boxes. They're looking for X, Y, and Z. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong. So people are quite robotic. Oh, this is how to do a perfect interview, and this is what I need to be. I need to be show that I'm good at everything and I can do this. But that's just not realistic. You know, I'm not expecting to meet perfection in a graduate who hasn't worked so much or hasn't had a professional career before. Why would I expect? You know, I'm expecting the roughest of diamonds, and that's fine. You aren't expected to be perfect, far from it, but you do have good values. You do have a unique way of being. You've got to represent yourself in the best way possible, and show what show what you're looking to do in the opportunity that's being presented. Any more questions about interviews, please send them over. Emily, if you want to come back with something on that, or a more detailed question on the reply, please do come back. I do get the idea, and I'm going to go to poll of the week, and we've done this one before, but I do get the feel from the audience here that a lot of you like the career advice, the interview advice, the advice around CVs, the advice around communication. So I think moving forward, I mentioned this last week and the week before with a special edition last week and the special edition we're going to have next week. I think if we can bring in more specialists, so you can ask the questions both to the specialist and to me, because my advice is really practical, raw advice. You know, I'm 27 years in a journey. I was in the position that you were all in. I've been on that journey and learned a lot of great lessons, and I want to share all of my lessons with you to add value and hopefully to give good content, to educate and motivate and inspire the next generation of young professionals. That's what I'm here for. If in future webinars we can bring in good public figures or career advisors or good specialists, then that's exactly what we're going to do. And you need to drive that through what you want to see on the show. What you got, Harrison? A question for me?
We just got a few comments coming in from Dan saying, "Hi guys, I can't wait for the show every week. Some great positives in this webinar. Keep it up," which is brilliant to hear. Just to carry on with what Rob's saying, I personally think with the uncertainty in the market, if everyone just keeps a positive mindset moving forward, I have no doubt that the industry will pick up again and that it will be better than ever. So everyone follow ASKROBCO and watch this space because it's going to be big. Any other questions? We've had a question.
There's a good question here. It says, Rob, what are your top tips for starting your day and how do you ensure that you stay positive every day of the week?
That's a brilliant one. Great question. Last 5 minutes. Anyone that hasn't got their question through, get it through now. Positivity is like my big thing, okay? And it is one of the vibes of the week. Maybe Dan in our team can let us know which vibe of the week was the positivity one. One of the ones that's sitting there. Ultimately, you've got to have a positive mindset in life. It's the winning key and it's the winning attribute. Harrison's just made it really clear. COVID, no COVID, lockdown, no lockdown, job, no job. You've got to remain positive, because what's the alternative? Moping around, sitting at home, being negative. That's the alternative. If you think that you're going to achieve something in life, being negative, moping around, sitting at home with a negative mindset, then cool, go for it. And I wish you the best of luck. You've got to do what works for you. My advice is, if you've got a positive mindset, good things are always going to happen, like 100%. What do I do? What's my daily mantra? Believe it or not, first thing I do when I wake up is drink water, preferably 2 bottles or 1 bottle. I would say something between 500 milliliters, half a liter, 3/4 of a liter, something like that. Why? Because you need to be hydrated for your brain to work, for your body to function. You need hydration. You've just been sleeping for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours, depending on how many hours you need to sleep. And you need to hydrate. So hydrate before you caffeinate. That means before you have your coffee, you need water in your system. You need to be hydrated for the caffeine to work in a positive way. So that's the start. Then I would probably go into doing a bit of breathing I call it maybe a bit of light meditation, a bit of thinking, a combination of things for maybe 5 or 10 minutes just to get my focus, and that gets me ready for the day. And always in a positive mindset, even if I've got a challenging day, even if I've got a million things ahead of me, even if I know it's going to be really tough to get through what I've got, you've got to face the day with a good attitude and a good energy to get you through it. Listen, we're all human. No one is 365, 24/7 positivity. Life's great. Everything's brilliant. But if your general attitude is positive, and if your general approach to life is positive, then you will get there. So I think you got to work out your own routine, by the way. So I would have trialed hundreds of different daily routines to find out what works for me. I love having a coffee and a croissant, or going for a walk and listening to some music to start my day. All these are little micro minute things, like 2 minutes here, 5 minutes there. This gets me into the mindset, ready to face challenges. My advice to you and everyone out there is to work out what works for you and just go for it. But learn what you like and what you don't like, what puts you in a good mood, what puts you in a bad mood. So start trialing and testing. Trialing and testing in life is great. So definitely do that. Bit of feedback and comeback from Emily. So I just want to go back to that. Really great answer. Completely understand that you have to be yourself and be authentic. And if you fit the role and the role is right for you, then you'll get the job. But if you're not, then you won't. Thank you for your help, as I have an internship next week, which will lead to me hopefully getting a graduate job. So that has been a great help. Listen, the fact that you got an internship next week, Emily, interns are great opportunities. They're just pure learning. And someone in the intern could love you so much that they turn your intern into a full job further down the line. And again, I don't know, Jess, maybe you'll share with us next week. I think Jess joined her role as an intern, and then it got extended to a further role. And I don't know if there's anyone else listening who had exactly the same. Share with us that experience. But interns are great opportunities. I think, Harrison, you got a question there from Nanak. I don't know if you want to read that one. Or is that's just a hello? Is it a question?
Hi, Robert, Harrison, and Charlie. Hi, Nanak.
Good hello from Nanak. Thanks for joining us, Nanak. Really appreciate you giving some input and giving some feedback. Thank you for that. Really appreciate it. Last minute, what have we got? What are we closing up with, guys?
Dean mentioned on the poll that he wanted to choose 2, so just leave a question in the comments for your other answer. We had a question from Jessica again. As graduates, did you look for particular values in a company? So this applies to me and Charlie, or were you applying to, or was it purely based on experience you could gain?
You want to go first, Hazar?
I lost you.
So I think Harrison's frozen for a second there. But so as a graduate, when I was searching for a job, it was really time consuming. I found it really difficult for quite a few months. It took me quite a while to sort of perfect my CV and perfect my sort of confidence going into a job and speaking one-to-one with someone. And then sort of in the space of 3 weeks, I ended up having 3 offers from similar companies. Obviously, I ended up joining MJ, and this was based on quite a few things. I was really impressed by, one, the office I walked into. The vibes were great. Rob actually had a huge conversation with me, full of positivity, and I just thought this is going to be a great company to work at. It had brilliant core values, and I met most of the team on a few days of my interviews, and that sort of swayed my decision. And I think you have to base your decision purely off of if you feel like you're going to fit in that scenario and if you feel a place in that team. And even if you take that job, and you don't quite understand if that is what you want, you can always change. So as Rob said, with trial and error, and especially with internships as well, you can maybe go to an internship, you might not like it, but that'll be a benefit to you because you can then proceed to go down a route that actually suits and fits you well.
Harrison? You with us, Harrison?
You hear me, Rob?
Yeah.
Good. I don't know if I think my screen's frozen, but good you can hear me. I think to comment on that, with me, it's kind of back to what we were saying before, and it's just staying positive and just keeping a positive mindset, because finding a job can be a very, very stressful place. And it's one of those things where you're forcing to try and find a job and making it happen quick, but that's actually the last thing you should be doing. And you really should be taking your time, make sure you find the right opportunity that's there for you, and just keeping a positive mindset about things. That's really my comments on it.
Yeah, I think experience is everything. So even if it's just going through interview after interview, it's still experience. If you get a job and you're there for maybe a month, 6 months, a year, it's experience. So when talking about particular values versus based on experience, I think it's a combination of both that are both essential, and you'll understand through interviews where you fit in and how you're going to progress in your career. But just stick at it, and anyone that's getting down about not getting a job, it will come eventually. Everyone has special values, and someone will notice that. Don't worry.
Brilliant. Great question. Going to close up this week. Caller of the week goes to Parish. Age is no issue. You're never too young. You're never too old. And you always have the opportunity whenever it presents yourself. Next week, big special. We have, for the first time, 3 of our best watchers and previous question of the week winners. Diva, Emily and Jess will be joining live on the show. Please support the 3 of them. It's really exciting. So please come back next week, tell your friends, tell your colleagues. Let's get a really big audience for those 3. Let's give them a really big platform to show and share their life, their experience, their journeys and their stories. Apart from that, have a great weekend. Thanks for all your time this week. Thanks for returning. Really grateful. And we will see you next week, 1 p.m. next Friday, same time, same place. #AskRobCo. Keep asking the questions and we will give you the answers. Have a great weekend.
Stay positive. Have a good weekend, guys. See you next week.
See you next week.